Alright, so yeah, that was a pretty interesting interview we just had here. Next up, I'm gonna have my boy, my day one, my number one guy, my rider. I'm gonna have my dude, Jason. He's joining the podcast today. I thought I was gonna only be able to do one interview, but my boy came through in the clutch, and we're gonna get his perspective on what's going on. Today, obviously, it's a global crisis, so everybody's talking about it, and I just kind of want to hear what Jason's thoughts are. So first of all, man, you want to introduce yourself? You want to say anything, or?
Well, I'm Jason. I'm a doctor. I have my PhD. No, I'm just kidding. That
would have been a great interview, bro. I wish I had a PhD doctor on here, man.
No, I'm just somebody who looks at things logically and just look day to day. I own my own business, and that's about it.
That's dope.
Just looking at it at face value.
You want to promote your business?
What?
Promote your business?
Yeah. You'll see me. Just look me up, Jason Gonzalez. My company's name is Reality Cleaning and Adventures with VR with virtual reality. Work on
the only virtual reality company in Minnesota.
Ski. So just look me up and email me if you have any questions. But yeah, ask me questions. Ask away.
All right. So yeah, basically, I just want to, just how are you feeling? How you doing? What do you think? What do you think about the coronavirus, and how do you think it's affecting your daily life? I would say it would be the first question. Questions.
At first, this virus was something that I thought was going to be controlled in China. I felt like it was maybe going to spread and have some cases and clusters in different countries surrounding China. But at the end of the day, it spread faster than what we thought. And there's a lot of things that were said back even in December that have now been debunked even by the words of experts. So whether your information is coming from experts, it's changing day to day. If your information is coming from your day-to-day life, I think that's more accurate. I think we need to be useful of the internet in these times and being able to connect faster, because the news is spinning faster than we can update ourselves with it. Something that you read 3 days ago might not be current, or the numbers might not show the same exact fact today. That's just something that we have to look at, take in consideration, that today's internet is just moving way too fast for us to comprehend. So right now it's chaos, I think, and we are doing the best we can, but at the same time, it's still climbing. Even if it's a short spurt, there's still information out there that it is not even being reported anymore.
And how is, if I could ask a question,
fast.
You say the news is changing day to day. How is your life then changing from day to day as you hear the news change from day to day? Like, does that affect your day to day life, or do you just try to in one ear out the other ear? Or is your daily life changing as the news changes, and has that changed in the past couple of weeks?
Well, the first thing that I noticed was in February, even through last year, I even kind of felt the economy was going to have either a credit burst or a bubble of some sort, because it's, I would say every 10 years something happens with the economy. So I didn't think it was going to be a virus. So in the beginning of February is when I noticed everything started kind of going to hell.
Oh, so you were before even the virus came out, you kind of sensed something that was going to change?
Yeah, I kind of knew that, like, even the credit market was going to burst, or something was going to happen in that aspect of things. Damn. Because just based on my knowledge, people I know, and people, even myself, having the experience of going to a dealership and buying a car and having it be as easy as 1, 2, 3, just like the housing market was back in 2008, where people were buying houses left and right that they couldn't afford. And when I was going to get my car, all they asked for was, how much did you make, what's your name, your social, and your credit score. And based off all that stuff, they didn't ask for any extra information to prove any of that information. So they ran my stuff, and away I went with a new car. But then as time went on, and even maybe 3 months prior for me getting my car, I noticed that a lot of people were also being able to get approved for credit lines, cars, and it was just me even knowing people that didn't have good jobs, just being able to extend themselves to be able to afford something that they can't. And that's where I kind of had the hunch. But yeah, this virus just kind of just took it all over, and it's taking over the planet.
Right. And yeah, I mean, you mentioned it's taken over. I just kind of wonder, you know, you being a small business owner, I kind of want to, you know, I kind of wonder, because I haven't talked to too many, you know, small business owners, and I kind of just want to hear your thoughts on how that's, you know, impacting your business.
Paying yourself, paying others, paying overhead, and just being able to run day to day when you're losing clients based on fear. And it's nothing against anybody, because obviously you have to protect yourself. But I think we as a company, we took measures right away to be able to protect ourselves and protect others. It's not just about, you know, us being scared of getting the virus somewhere, but it's also them thinking of us bringing the virus to them when they don't have it. So I think it's mostly, if you protect yourself, you're fine, but we have seen a decrease in business since this whole thing, since the beginning of February, that people were already buzzing about it. And then, you know, one thing led to another where it was like, no big deal. And then it turned into a big deal. And that's when we all of a sudden got flooded with, we're actually thinking about postponing for now. We're going to wait for now. We're just waiting until this kind of blows over, and then we'll give you a call. Stuff like that is just devastating to any business. So you're kind of saving your ass from what you have, but at the end of the day, you need it to hurry up, because if you don't, you need to find a job. And I'm probably going to be one of those people that I need to find a job. If we're still quarantined, if we're still needing to close our bars and liquor stores and all that stuff. So yeah, there's too many people and not enough jobs.
Right.
And I don't know when to act as a business owner. I don't know what to do next. My stocks went down. Everyone's stocks that I know went down. I've lost $7,000, and I haven't. You don't lose in the stock market if you keep the stocks, but at the end of the day, you do see that money go away.
Because kind of stay with the economy.
Right.
So kind of staying with the economy, I guess. Is there any advice you could give, or is there anything that you're doing to make sure that you're gonna, sustain your business, throughout and after, this pandemic crisis thing is over, or anything like that, or?
What am I gonna do?
Yeah, or do you have any advice, or what are you gonna do? You got to start thinking about that. You are a small business.
It's gonna be small. I hope the government bails out small businesses and people, the working people.
I think they did put something in there for that, but yeah.
But I also don't agree with bailing out multi-billionaires, people that have at least 6 months of income saved up, because that's the rule of thumb of what you need to do.
So only bail out a certain percentage of the population, the percentage that isn't as wealthy as the, not even the 1%, but maybe the 10%, millionaires and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So you're saying just focus on the middle class, the blue collars.
The people that are working day to day, people that work paycheck to paycheck, people that can't that work hourly jobs, that's no matter how hard they work or how good they are at their job, they can't exceed the rate of payment that they're getting paid.
And to me, man, I think it's really just going to come down to that. I think the impact on the economy is something that I'm very worried about. So yeah, hopefully that bounces back. And then just kind of to flip it, kind of a new topic still within the coronavirus though. How do you feel about the kids in Florida and California that are going on spring break and whatnot? And there's a bunch of I know you've seen the videos, bro, where there's a bunch of kids there. How do you feel about people not quarantining and just saying fucking and going out and partying and whatnot.
I think
taking advantage of the low prices on the
I think
flights.
it's very selfish. I'm not gonna say, hey, enough. I'm not gonna say I haven't been selfish when I was young. I'm not gonna say I didn't do stupid shit when I was young because I felt invincible. But at the end of the day, we need to look at it as it's pretty sad that that before, let's say in the beginning, January, February, we knew that it was more towards older people. And older people, when they got sick, they died. When younger people got sick, they would get sick, maybe go to the hospital. If they did, they would overcome it. And now, fast forward to what we know now and the research that's coming out, I mean, you have permanent damage in your lungs. You have scar tissue in your lungs. It's secondary effects that you get from pneumonia. So it's not just I'm young, I'm gonna get over it, and then that's it. It's if you're in any type of profession that you need physicality. If you're in any sports where you're trying to be the best and you need the edge to be the best, it's gonna affect the way that you perform. It's not just looking at it as I survived and that's it. It's I survived, but I have secondary, effects from it, and it's more serious. And just to think that if we do this next time, then what if it's not just scarring? What if it's worse? What if it's something that you need a machine to help you breathe? What if you need an altering in your body through the technology that we're coming out, that you're no longer 100% the way that you were born? Like that's what's crazy. So if we are in a mass hysteria, that's fine with me. I think that the faster that we are in a hysteria or overly cautious is when the economy is going to come back faster. So I hope that speeds up the process. Whatever it is that we need to do to speed up the process.
So you think it's okay for everybody to be in mass hysteria?
I guess I don't, unless you bring in politics with it, I don't see the negative light on being overly cautious.
But I think there's a difference between being cautious and hysterical, though. Hysterical is like a different level. And that's what a lot of people would argue. Not saying I would, but a lot of people would argue that. Yeah, I guess just to close it, to end it here. Any closing thoughts that you want to kind of say about the coronavirus, or anything that I didn't ask you that you want to kind of mention?
I guess there's a lot of things that we need to think about the future, like what are we going to do next? Right. And the main thing is this the time for cryptocurrency? Is the dollar gone? Right. Is the value not there anymore? And do we have to start a new economy digitally?
I mean,
if we do, what is that going to look like?
Not to get too political, but a lot of the reasons that I really don't like any presidential candidates is kind of what you're saying, is they're not focusing on what like really matters. You feel me? Like as far as like cryptocurrency or in that technology realm, like auto automate, like robots that are taking our jobs. And that's kind of what, Andrew Yang, he was big on that. And I think that was the only presidential candidate that even said anything about that. So we definitely got to focus on the future, as a whole United States with that, because that's going to take our jobs, over anything else. And that's going to affect a lot of, the middle class and lower class that, aren't trained to do other stuff. But yeah, I think that was a good interview, man. A lot of good stuff.
The last thing that I'll leave with is
and the war on drugs too. We definitely got to, people be tweaking on it. Like the presidential candidates don't know what to do with that, man. But
wait, hold on just a second.
Yeah, I think me and Jason will probably talk tomorrow as well. If he's down to get on again, we could probably get a little bit deeper into everything we were talking about today.
Well, they say that that China. I guess the last thing we have to think about is if I don't know if I looked at. It says during the recent EIA investigation in China, undercover agents spoke with 3 different ivory traders. Yeah, no, that's not it. But basically, it's like China's economy, like, I don't know if I read half or a little less than half. The animal trade is the biggest part of their economy.
Yeah.
And they say they just banned it. So if we look at history, when China was coming out of poverty, that's what kind of created their power to what they have now. Because, I mean, they're super industrialized now. But what happens when the animal trade goes away? How do they replace that chunk of economy back into their economy so that
they fully banned all animal trade in China?
Yeah, I mean, they did, but there's a lot of loopholes. So
yeah, obviously there's probably going to be like some illegal stuff, but
now that we know this because of that animals, is the U.S. going to intervene and actually, do something about it? And when they do ban it, like for real, ban it, will that economy affect our economy in the future?
How will their economy going down affect our economy as far as like the fur trade?
Yeah.
They do a lot of trade with us through fur.
Yeah. Well, no, I mean with everything. So
well, hopefully it just dismantles it, man. Because I don't.
There's just a lot of money lost, in the industry. So
right.
If that industry goes away and money's flowing in that industry, where's that money going to be?
Yeah, who knows, bro? I haven't even looked into that. That's a good question.
Yeah,
that's a good question, bro. Yeah, dude. Like I said, man, we'll talk a lot longer than this. This was just like a little intro. We'll actually get deep into this and actually, talk about it for a good amount of time. But I think it was a good start. Yeah, like I said, Jason's gonna be a big part of the podcast. He's technically the founder. One of the founders for sure. Investors too. But yeah, like I said, we'll talk tomorrow, man.
All right, bro.
Hit me up, bro.
All right,
stay up.